Then you have to actually take action on it. Fifth chakra, fifth dimensional experience. Sixth dimensional is the third eye. This is when you actually begin to see the world of energy. You begin to see more into these what we call higher realms. And so that's how I approached it. The mind can't grasp it. The ego mind is three-dimensional only. It will not be able to come with you up beyond the three dimensions. So I found when I first started meditating in the vortex, I would go into trance because my ego mind was not high enough in vibration to follow where I was going. Eventually, though, what you're going to do is as you especially get to sixth dimension and higher, you start to actually access the higher mind of the soul. And so what you want to do is link the higher mind to the ego mind. They become one mind. And then you can have lucid meditations where you are everywhere. You can just go out and see what's going on and work there. So it's very practical. Just work your way up. Okay, seventh dimension is connection to your Godhead, to your divine self. So you just keep working up. And the book also explains some of the stuff that you're going to encounter as you go up the 12 dimensions. There's this whole thing about the fifth dimension that's big in the internet, and it's big in the channeled information. To me, what we experience when we work in the vortex and we get into the throat chakra is very, very pivotal here. It's the still point of the 0 point. So it's that stillness between positive and negative, light and dark. And so you learn how to get into that still point between matter and antimatter, hold that space. That's really what this whole fifth dimensional thing is about. To us, it's just the entry point up to the 12. It's not the end result of this. It's just the start, actually, of ascension. So that's how we've experienced it. So if people say you're just going to stop at fifth dimension, don't believe them, because you say, no, I'm going to go the whole way. Yes?
So everything that you described, I've been dreaming and sensing for a long time. But the part that confuses me is when you say, like, right now, people are hoarding. But then at the same time, like, we're called to prepare for this. I feel like torn. Like, part of me wants to just trust that there will be plenty, and another part of me really senses that a lot of people are going to be turning to other people for help. And
That's true.
In sharing.
That's true.
So what is the right balance? I mean, how do you practice that feeling of there's plenty for everyone?
I'm just kind of going.
Prepare.
Okay, so that's a very good question, is how do you tell the difference between abundance consciousness, right, and then taking care of your needs. In the polarized world, it is not abundance consciousness. It's me against the world. You're going to lose so I can win. So if you're living in that polarized world, you need to take care of your needs. When we bridge into the new earth, it's going to be a whole different world. And we're going to be able to take care of each other and be in abundance consciousness. To me, it's a fallacy that people are out there teaching the law of attraction and abundance when we're in a polarized world. If you understand how polarity works, for every positive action that you take, you get a negative reaction. Have you encountered Counterforce? That's what polarity is. For every forward movement, you get a pushback. That's how it works, right? It's polarity. It's holding the three dimensions in place. So you can't have abundance consciousness in that. It doesn't work. And this is what I write about in my book. This is like the biggest fallacy out there. Those people who are making a ton of money, millions in law of attraction and abundance consciousness, they're doing it they're working the system. They're working the polarized system. They are. So the only way for you to really have abundance, where you're sourcing it from inside yourself, your soul is magnetizing it to you because you hold that inside you, it's going to be in the new world. It's going to be in unity consciousness. It won't work in polarity. Okay, so practical, how do you prepare? You just need to know what you're dealing with. You need to know the world you're living in. I'm preparing for a week. If it's longer, if it's a month, if it's 2 months, then I'm going to be out on the street looking for food too, right? So it's where we have to pull together and help each other. I'm not hoarding. I'm just preparing for what I need to do to just get through the shutdown for a week or so. I know, it's upsetting and it's scary, and yet the trust that you're talking about, it's got to come from within here. Our souls will not let us be harmed.
Before the polarity ends, like
It's,
what you're talking
it's,
about is before, that actually is going to cause the polarity to melt.
yes. The collapse has to come to cause the polarity to fall. And I've sensed it actually coming. Okay, so when I started tuning into the collective field, I started getting about a year ago, especially my meditations with the Syrian Council, I started getting that to go look around February, March of 2011, and that's where I felt this whole, like, whoa. It was just, whoa. So I didn't know the astrology. Now, in hindsight, I know, okay, yesterday we just moved into the last stage of the Mayan calendar, and on March 11th, Uranus goes into the first degree of Aries, which starts a whole new cycle, and Uranus is the revolutionary planet, and it's shock waves. And so that's what I'm sensing is coming in the next month, that we're going to have some pretty, shakeups. We're going to have some stuff happen. We're going to have some shakeups. And this is why I'm here telling you today, go get some food and water for the next, just for a week. Just to get started, just to be ready. Even if it doesn't happen, you feel good because you took some action on your own behalf. Have some cash on hand. But not focus on the devastation, because that's polarity, right? So don't focus on the devastation. Focus on what we're building in the new earth, which is a community of one, where we're going to help each other out, we're going to take care of each other, we're going to love each other, and it's going to open everyone's hearts, and we're not going to be in this really, really imbalanced world that it is right now. It's really imbalanced. For someone to hoard billions when people are starving is, to me, incomprehensible. I don't even know how. And I asked Sarah and Cal, how in the world they live with themselves. And they actually believe, as an elite part of the world, they're entitled to it. They have convinced themselves that that's polarity in its perfect form right there, that they're entitled to it. So what we need to do is have that collapse. That's got to go. That's got to break down. That's got to be eliminated out of the planetary mind. That has got to go. Where people actually realize, if I take all this, then someone may not have enough. So it's more of where I see sustainable cities coming, where we all have a gift. We all have probably multiple gifts, and we barter and we contribute and we help the community. We help each other. It's all going to be a very different way. So it's like, just kind of let the mind try to get open, expand to new ways of living, new ways of supporting each other, new ways of earning income. And I don't even think we're going to have income, because I think the currency is going to crap out.
So what I'm hearing you say is that no matter how much we create, because it's in polarity, the exact opposite will also be being created at the same time.
Sounds a lot like the Venus Project. Are you familiar with the Venus
I'm not. But I have felt this counterforce my entire life, and I know I can feel it come immediately as soon as I even have the idea, oh, here comes the counterforce. It's that immediate.
The Venus Project is just that.
It's all about this balancing of positive and negative.
Resource-based economy and a sustainable planet, because we're not doing that right now.
No, we're not. And those old systems that don't sustain us, they're already collapsing. They're not going to be sustained in this high frequency. If you think about what's infusing onto the planet, this high frequency is divine. This is gamma ray frequency. It is God light. We call it crystalline light. And it's going to completely neutralize out those polarized systems. It's just going to wipe them out.
And this is going to happen quickly.
It's going to happen very quickly. It's 2011 is the start of it.
What if do you see the new Earth coming quickly as well?
I think it's going to be a gradual. Okay, that's a very good question. So she says, is this coming in 2012? I sense there's going to be some years of transition where it's from what I've learned in living in the New Earth hologram, it's some new stuff. I don't know how to, a new model of relationship. It's new stuff. We're not familiar with this. This is not, we have lived in a parasitic world where everyone is feeding on each other's energy. And that's not how the New Earth works. It's all about containment, sourcing yourself, loving each other. It's not about hooking into each other and feeding on each other. It's a whole new way of relationship is starting. A whole new way of generating income. You're going to have to stretch the mind, you guys. This is new stuff.
Well, in a book like the Celestine Tintin Insight, they talk about maybe a Rapturous thing. Would that happen with some of us?
When
In this lifetime. In this
it's
lifetime.
rapturous, just being with the soul and the body. Oh, you go there. That's where you go. It's unbelievable.
Will people disappear or no? Or some real?
Well, I think eventually these, as I'm working with crystalline light, we're getting literally tetrahedrons of crystalline light into the nucleus of the cells. The actual vortex energy is in the subatomic particles. Our vortexes in subatomic particles. So you can get crystalline light into that level. This is the quanta level, right? You begin to transform. It's photosynthesis. You begin to transform the bioenergetics with photon light, and the vibration continues to rise. So it's transfiguring the density of the body. The problem is when we started to actually try to infuse crystalline light into the body, we were finding hybrid DNA, reptilian-coded DNA, that was blocking the light from getting into the physical body. And we were finding the actual mitochondria was, the aminos in the mitochondria was also chipped away and blocked off, that you can get it into the nucleus. So there's a lot of corruption in our DNA. And so this is why I'm saying this isn't going to happen overnight. We have to actually get into the master cell, start pulling out the corrupted codes. If you go onto my website, I have a lot of teleclasses with all these different steps to work on cleaning out the corruption out of the DNA, out of the mind. You know, we have to actually kind of use okay, let me stop here. And the 0 point is the center of our universe. It's the center of the galactic core and what's happening there. It's called singularity. It's literally the collapse and the expansion. It's a pulsing light. It's like a strobe light. It's called scalar wave. It's a standing wave. And so in every pulse, collapse, expansion. So in expansion, you use the photon light to recreate, to recode. And so we do this in the vortex as well, is in that pulse of creation of that scalar wave, you use your mind's power to collapse out the corruption, and then in the expansion of singularity, you birth yourself into a new, healthy, divine human. So this is what they call the resurrection. It's where you really begin to birth alive the crystalline body.